how KKK started a war country. Like, you know, is it what I think it is? The clan? No, maybe not. Okay, it's probably not what I'm thinking. Okay. I was gonna say, like, since when did the clan start a country? That's insane. Just bomb that country, I mean. Nuke the country, but it's not the KKK I'm thinking. Okay. I will be dead. So yeah, this is how the KKK started a war country. It's still an unfortunate name choice, you know. But the channel, Jonas Tayaban. Okay. I have no idea what this is about, but let's see it.
This is what shaped the Philippines as we know it today. In fact, this flag with only 3 letters is so important in the country's history that its presence can be seen everywhere.
Man, it's so unfortunate. It's like when, you know, in Japanese stuff, they still like the swastika because it's originally like a Buddhist symbol, right? But these days it kind of has like, you know, when you see it, you automatically are like, oof. And I guess when you see the initial KKK, yeah, you're like, oof.
To glorify its honor. And I know, you might be thinking of something else. No, this is not the Ku Klux Klan. This is the kataas-taasang kagalang-galangang katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan. The katipunan existed to unite the Philippine Islands into one single nation. This group played a crucial role in ending the Spanish colonial era of 333 years and served as a catalyst for identity and nationalism. This is how the Katipunan gave birth to a nation.
Awesome.
First, let's clear up something about the KKK that exists in the West. The Ku Klux Klan is not related to the Katipunan.
Yeah.
The Ku Klux Klan was founded in the US as a white supremacist group in 1865 after the American Civil War, while the Katipunan was a secret society founded in 1892 with the goal of ending Spanish colonialism in the Philippines and establishing a united Philippine government. During the Spanish era, the Philippines experienced
the good KKK, which is a weird thing to say. But yeah, the good KKK.
The exploitation of its resources, as well as the discrimination between Filipinos. However, Spanish colonization also brought benefits to the Philippines, such as new infrastructure, education, and government. While many Filipinos became accustomed to the presence of Spanish influences, there were those who favored independence. This is where the Katipunan comes into play. During the 1800s, tensions between Spanish colonization were increasing. On July 3,
what is this, the Inquisition?
Jose Rizal and other members, including Andres Bonifacio, established the La Liga Filipina. Its primary purpose was to provide aid, promote unity and cooperation among Filipinos, and advocate for political reforms with the Spanish government. Jose Rizal is widely believed to be the greatest catalyst for Philippine nationalism due to his significant efforts in creating peaceful reforms. However, Spanish authorities viewed the existence of the La Liga Filipina as a threat and arrested Rizal on July 6, 8. Existence of the.
Is that like a little dude? Like, is that a kid or is that just a short person? I guess it looks like there's a cigarette in his mouth. Interesting.
La Liga Filipina as a threat and arrested Rizal on July 6, 1892, just 3 days after its establishment. The next day, July 7, 1892, in this very house, former members Deodato Arellano, Ladislao Diwa, Teodoro Plata, Andres Bonifacio, Jose Dizon, and Valentin Diaz organized the kataas-taasang kagalang-galangang katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan, known as the Katipunan.
Let me try to say that.
The kataas-taasang
Kataas-taasan kagalang-galangang katipunan. Okay. The MGA, I was going to say it in a very bad way, so I think I'll stop here.
Galang-galangang katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan, known as the Katipunan for short,
Katipunan,
or the KKK. This translates to Supreme and Honorable Society of the Children of the Nation. The word Katipunan itself comes from the Tagalog term tipon, meaning gathering or to gather. Unlike Jose Rizal's peaceful goals with the La Liga Filipina, the Katipunan had 4 main objectives: forging a brotherhood among its members, uniting Filipinos as a unified nation, achieving Philippine independence through armed conflict or revolution, and establishing a republic once independence was secured.
Sounds pretty good.
Initially, the Katipunan was strictly kept secret to avoid being purged by the Spaniards. Before 1896, its focus was on gaining support, and its existence spread secretly through the surrounding provinces of Manila, with the number of members increasing over the years. By 1895, Andres Bonifacio assumed the position of Supremo, or President of the Katipunan. It was at this time that the Katipunan intensified its preparations for an armed revolution. The Katipunan utilized newspapers as a means to secretly gain support. Prominent members within the Katipunan, such as Andres Bonifacio, Emilio Jacinto, and Dr. Pio Valenzuela, aimed to spread the society's revolutionary thoughts and ideals through their works. In 1896, while Rizal was still in exile in Dapitan, Andres Bonifacio and his counselors decided to seek the advice of Jose Rizal regarding an armed revolution. Dr. Valenzuela visited Rizal, but Rizal greatly rejected the idea of a revolution, believing that the Filipino people were simply not ready yet for such a war, and that they needed to collect arms and funds first. That was also the last time the Katipunan...
I guess that is the problem with like so many revolution, right? They do it too early. It's probably like very hard to wait or to even know when is the right time, when you have enough support, all that, right? Like, you know, there's been so many revolutions throughout the years, through history. So you'd think there's a blueprint, but even with a blueprint, actually being sure that it's the right time and people will rise up and all that, that's probably so hard to figure out. Yeah.
And would ever have contact with Rizal, as he was executed on December 30, 1896. But despite Rizal's rejection, the Katipunan continued its efforts to address the arms supply problem and smuggle weapons from Japan, who was then friendly towards the Philippines. Andres Bonifacio attempted to purchase weapons from Japan, but did not have enough funds. Unfortunately, a simple wage dispute between two Katipuneros working at a Spanish-owned printing press named Diario de Manila, Apolonio de la Cruz and Teodoro Patiño, led to Patiño seeking revenge by revealing the secrets of the Katipunan to his sister Honoria. Honoria was deeply upset by the revelation and reported this to her superiors, which pressured Patiño to confess everything to a friar. Patiño betrayed the Katipunan, disclosed what he knew about it, prompting the authorities to investigate the printing press, where they found the Katipunan's documents. The discovery of the Katipunan would be Andres Bonifacio's signal to start fighting.
Okay, I guess that, yeah, like at this point you have no choice. Like if you don't start fighting right there and there, you're done. They found you out, so it's now or never, I guess, yeah. Spanish Empire was on decline. Yeah. Fair enough, I mean, most colonization was on the decline by, you know, by that time, I guess.
Symbolic act of rebellion, Bonifacio and members of the Katipunan began tearing their cedulas as a visible act of rebellion, which is now known as the Cry of Pugadlawin. During that time, the cedula was a document that every Filipino was required to carry as proof of their identity and payment of taxes to the Spanish authorities. Like the breaking of the chains of oppression, tearing the cedula was like the assertion of national identity. On August 30, the Katipunan initiated an attack on the Spanish soldiers guarding the powder magazine, known as the Battle of San Juan del Monte, or Battle of Pinaglabanan. During this battle, the Katipuneros aimed to cripple Spanish resources in Manila and gather weapons.
Although, like, the scale of, you know, like, how much Spanish were soldiers and stuff like that there was, and how much, like, revolutionary there was. Like, how big was the revolution, the battle and everything, right?
Despite their courage and determination, the Katipuneros only fought with basic weapons such as the bolo and bamboo spears against the rifles of some Spanish soldiers and Spanish conscripted Filipino guards.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's right, because when you think about it, you know, it's probably not just the Spanish have like ton of like Filipino soldiers as well who probably will just, you know, follow the Spanish, right? So yeah, that's messed up.
And if Andres Bonifacio got the upper hand, he suffered hundreds of casualties, and eventually a large number of Spanish reinforcements consisting of Filipino conscripts pushed them further back, forcing their retreat. The Katipunan failed its objective and lost its very first battle. But news of the battle reached other provinces in Manila, where other insurgent groups were organized and started attacking the Spaniards. Other battles were organized in the surrounding provinces in the following months, but the Katipunan, being ill-equipped, composing of undertrained ordinary people and disorganized command, endured a series of losses with a handful of victories. In response to the events of the Philippine Revolution, Spanish authorities
there's so many
executed
photos.
prisoners and captured prominent members of the Katipunan. Spanish reinforcements also arrived to attempt to restore order in the colony. The towns and cities that supported the Katipunan were given symbolic names to reflect their allegiance. During the course of the revolution, a division arose between two factions in Cavite, the Magdiwang, led by General Mariano Alvarez, which closely supported Andres Bonifacio, and the Magdalo, led by General Baldomero Aguinaldo. On March 22, 1897, just a year after the Katipunan's first battle,
This
in a
movie seems pretty
convention
cool.
held in Cavite, the revolutionaries gathered to establish a unified revolutionary government to address this division. Now, this new government needs to elect new leaders. But the more popular member of the elite, Emilio Aguinaldo, was elected as the president of the revolutionary government,
Alright.
defeating Andres Bonifacio, one of the founders of the Katipunan.
Yeah, that's a surprise. I thought this guy was so popular, like he would be the leader of things if he didn't get killed. We also almost became British because British want more territories. Of course, I mean, wasn't the British try to, to colonize? The movie is available on YouTube. Okay. I mean, sounds very interesting. But then, how did this guy get past? It was the guy that started all this.
Himself, who instead became the Secretary of Interior, the lowest of the leaders. During this election at Tejeros, which is widely believed to be manipulated by Aguinaldo's faction in their own favor, Andres Bonifacio still adhered to the rules of the election and was about to accept his defeat and his new position as the lowest of the newly elected leaders, but was disputed by a man named Daniel Tirona, stating that Andres Bonifacio is uneducated and that the position of Director of Interior, even at the lowest position, should require a law degree. This angered Bonifacio and almost threatened to shoot Tirona, but Tirona fled the room. Bonifacio then declared the results of the convention null and void, asserting his authority as the Supremo of the Katipunan. Despite Bonifacio's objections, Aguinaldo and the other officers took their oath of office the following day in Santa Cruz de Malabon.
It really shows stories like that, yeah, like they were so together, but the second it's time to like be like, who has the power, who does what, everything falls apart because now they're fighting with each other. Damn.
Excluding Bonifacio. Bonifacio and a few others issued the Acta de Tejeros, which denounces the events at the Tejeros Convention as disorderly and marred by
this was
deception.
saved.
They
Cool.
also signed the Naik military agreement, branding the actions at Tejeros as treasonous. However, by that time, and as a result of the election, Andres Bonifacio is no longer in charge, and instead, President Aguinaldo and his officers. As a result, Andres Bonifacio and his brother Procopio were the ones arrested instead for treason, and with General Aguinaldo's approval, they were executed on May 10, 1897 at Mount Buntis in Marabondon, Cavite. The Bonifacio brothers were buried in an unmarked grave.
I mean, how many times this happened, though? I can't remember exactly, but I feel like I've heard of literal similar situation in some other video about some other revolution. Like, it's like, everybody's together for like the revolution, but then as soon as like there is time to betray each other, it always happens. How sad.
And their bodies are still undiscovered today. The Katipunan was dissolved and merged into Aguinaldo's revolutionary government, which is largely considered as the first Philippine Republic. While the Katipunan was short-lived, it sowed the seeds for nationalism and represented the aspirations and determination of the Filipino people to achieve independence and self-governance. It promoted pride in Filipino heritage, emphasizing the Philippines as a distinct nation. Over time, the KKK's ideals and actions became intertwined with the broader narrative of Philippine nationhood. The courage, determination, and sacrifices of the Katipuneros inspired future generations of Filipino revolutionaries, shaping the identity of the Philippine nation. Today, the KKK serves as a historical symbol of the Philippine struggle for independence and its people's unwavering spirit in the pursuit of freedom and self-determination.
Okay. Really good video. But also kind of depressing again, like the guy that started it all, or one of the guys that started it all, like that's how he ends up, right? Like, they just execute him like that. Like, it's depressing, but also, I guess in the end it was one, right? Like at the very least, the independence was like attained. The Spanish were kicked out, so it's better than nothing. But yeah, it's still kind of sad, like the way it turns up for him. Okay, really good video, really, really good video.